I started talking about a trip of this scope about 5 years ago. And I told a few people, and when Andrew and I first started dating, which wasn't long after I started thinking about this, I casually brought it up that it was something I was interested in, almost as a means to say, don't get too close because I may be taking a break from my life. And interestingly, he was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I would love to do that.
Which was not her plan. Her plan was to keep me at arm's length, which is her way. And my way is to not read social cues or motivations. So I was just kind of like, yeah, that's amazing. We should totally do that.
Which was kind of awesome because it pushed me in a different direction than I had ever thought was possible. He moved in, and that was really the beginning. We started planning, I'd say a month later, we started really talking about it. A year later, Andrew proposed.
I kind of threw that wrench in.
And we decided to have a huge, crazy, amazing wedding that was absolutely everything we wanted. But it did push our start date back because of paying for a wedding.
Also, I can't focus on more than one thing at a time.
That's
Joy
true.
would have liked to have been concurrently planning our wedding and at the same time planning a trip around the world. I could not do that.
We got married in April, and we then resumed our planning and budgetary financial issues to make sure we were ready to go by October. We had long ago picked Malta as the place we wanted to stay the longest. Our original plan was that our trip would sort of be into 4 loose phases. The first one was going to be sort of like our honeymoon, which included
Iceland.
London by way of Iceland, and then coming here. And then once we got settled in here, the plan was for me to do some writing, for us to really do a hard reset, to learn what it was like not to get up and go to work every day, to maybe learn not that we have to set an alarm every day.
I mean, the idea was also to immerse ourselves into a different way of life.
When you get married after you're 26 and you already have like a life set and a ritual set and whatever, and on top of that you don't plan on buying a house or having kids, we felt like we really needed something that was a break, a hard break from the life that we had created individually. That was phase 1. What we didn't expect for something major to happen back home while we were gone. The election was truly a different kind of reset and a different kind of shock than we ever could have prepared for.
We were kind of assuming an outcome based on common sense and goodness.
Yeah.
So that did not happen.
So not only have we only had each other to like grieve with, keep in mind we live in New York City, and it seems that New York City has had a shift in the past 3 weeks that may right itself because New Yorkers are resilient, but we're not there for it.
It's hard to imagine the stuff that we're hearing is going on.
Yeah.
Because that's not the place that we left.
Yeah. And the place that we call home.
Yeah.
So
Where all the Nazis come from.
our original phase 2 was going to be using, so we have a 2-month Eurail pass to just travel around the mainland of Europe.
27 countries.
27 countries.
Pretty much Western
Yeah,
Europe.
yeah, we have that option. So originally, after we left Malta, we were going to sort of go back to the mainland of Europe and use that and sort of continue our exploration. And then phase 3, which would be like the spring, would probably be coming back to North America at some point. 2 things happened. When we got to London, we had some visa issues that have to do with the Schengen territory versus the UK, which also is dealing with Brexit. It was a really confusing, really complicated thing that we were sort of in the midst of sorting out. Then the election happened, and we've never felt so far removed from something that we feel very strongly about being a part of. All that to say, with the visa issues added to the election, we've decided to sort of switch phase 2 and phase 3 and flip them. After we leave Malta, we're going to spend a little bit of time in the UK, a few days, on our way back to New York City.
Yay.
We're actually very excited about it. It took a little bit to sort of wrap our heads around that that's what we wanted, but it's not only what we want, it's really what we need. We really need to be around some like-minded people in the place that we call home.
To see what's going on.
Also, yes, see what's going on and see where we fit in. Because right now we're really feeling like a disconnect, and we need to kind of figure that out. So, for most of December, we will be in our own apartment in New York. Our subletters happen to be our best friends. So we are still on a very tight budget. We are not on a New York City budget, which is part of the reason that it was like, oh, can we do this? But we figured it out. We are going to be able to do it. So we're still going to try to see like the Rockettes and maybe a Broadway show or two, because that's something I think we're missing a little bit as well. We're not really going to be doing a ton of like
socializing.
Major socializing. Phase 1, like I mentioned, was supposed to include me doing some writing, and honestly I haven't been in the frame of mind to do a whole lot. I have done a little bit and I'm proud of what I've done. So I will probably be doing a little bit of that in December from the comfort of my couch. We'll be catching up on some US TV that we've missed. We don't know what's happened with Survivor, so no one tell us.
No spoilers.
And then in January, we will be embarking on a road trip of sorts, which the details are going to be fleshed out in the coming month. Details to come. Which will then lead us into phase 3, which is now the Eurail trip. So at the end of February, we'll be coming back to Europe to check out those 26, 27 countries. In May, then we'll be back in the United States for phase 4, which is essentially rebuilding.
Yeah, we've done, I think, a nice reset. It's just that our home has kind of reset in our absence, and we need to go see what's going on over there.
So we need to be back, and we're actually very excited about it for a lot of reasons. Not just the sad revolutionary stuff, but we can't wait for New York pizza. We can't wait for Bear Burger. We can't wait for a MetroCard. Pat Kiernan.
Roger Clark.
Dr. Pepper. I would love a Dr. Pepper and some Nesquik, which is so weird.
It's kind of
and
American,
not at the same time.
It's very
but
American.
I'm really excited to see my best friend. I can't wait to hug him and then punch him. We still have London and Dublin before we get back to New York.
Then we have the rest of the United States.
Yeah, so we have a lot to share with you. I hope you still want to watch. We also may be asking to sleep on some of your couches, or ask you to make a meal for us. We'll be back in real time zone before too long. And with that, I think we'll say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.